We've all heard the joke, two guys walk into a bar. I want to just share with a little bit of a parallel. Two sales reps walk into an office, whether in person or virtually, and they're going to be selling something. Now let's just use a simple example such as wealth management services. Okay, I actually have a wealth management client, and I asked them very clearly. I said, "What do you do to differentiate yourself?" And they go to the proverbial, "Oh, we have really experienced people. We've been around 60 years, blah, blah, blah." We have to be able to say things that we do that our competition can't. That's the secret to differentiation. So I want you to think about two people come in to sell you. And one comes in and they talk about their products and services. They talk about their experience and how they're going to manage your money. Okay. The competition is probably going to do something similar, right? Or the other company is going to do something similar. Now, the first company comes in and they have brochures, they go through it, and they go for the close. They want to sign you up and get you into an account, some type of a retirement account or investment account. The second company does the same thing, or maybe they don't. Who cares? But for the most part, when we buy and sell things that are out in the marketplace, technology services, things that are mainstream, everything comes back down to our perception. So let me get off the sales wagon. I'll come back to it. If you go into a restaurant and you go in and the first restaurant is really, really clean, service is pretty good, food's pretty good. You go into the second restaurant, the place is filthy. Even if you choose to sit, and service is pretty good, food's pretty good, which one would you go back to? I would go back to the first one that was clean. Now, tell me the busboy or busgirl's not in sales. The same thing happens in the sales field. So let's go back to our wealth management example. Let's say the first company goes through that, and for whatever reason, you say, my wife and I are going to think about it. My husband and I are going to think about it. Say the same thing to the second one. We're meeting with other people, but we're going to think about it and we'll get back to you. That's a pretty traditional objection. Company A does nothing. They send some follow-up emails. Maybe they're template. Maybe they're automated. Who knows? The second company sends a list of references with phone numbers. Call our customers. And it's done with a handwritten thank you note. And then a week later, they send in an article. One of the things that you had asked about during our meeting was precious metals. I wanted to show you what gold is doing. The first company doesn't do that. See, when we're selling, I'm as guilty of this as anyone. So I don't want to come off like I'm preaching. We tend to have this objective. When I get out of the car in the parking lot, I'm going to go sell that guy or lady. That's kind of our objective. Nobody says it, but that is. Most of the time we'll have people say, "Oh, I'm really there to build relationships and not sell you." Bull, you're there to sell. You're there to get business. No way are you looking at your boss and say, "Boss, I'm at 30% of goal, but I have incredible relationships." There's no way. So it's tough because we have a tough business. It's filled with a lot of rejection. Now, I'm not a full-time salesperson, but I'm the sole salesperson at my company. So I live this. How do you differentiate yourself and give you an edge in the marketplace? So two guys walk into a bar, two guys walk into a prospect's office. One sends a thank you card, the other one doesn't. The second one sends an article of interest because they took really good notes in the meeting. The first one doesn't. The other company also sends a list of references and say, they're waiting for your phone calls. I have their personal permission. Give them a call and check us out. Third company doesn't do that. They follow up with have you made a decision? I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is the first company, the first sales rep, has a distinct advantage because they're demonstrating here's what you're going to get when you work with me. Now, I'm going to be a little bit self-loathing, a little bit self-righteous and share with you. I have for years done this. I have a lot of agricultural clients, and it really stems back from Monsanto, one of my favorite clients, great people. Great people. And they all have kind of dispersed because Bayer bought them out and there was changes. And so we now have a lot more agricultural clients. What I would share with you that I'm famous for is I have done 47 one-on-one coaching calls that are not sales related. But I want you to hear this before 6 a.m. on a Saturday or Sunday, because most of these people have corporate jobs and then they work the family farm. I didn't know that when I got in the industry. I'm like, you do what? Like, holy cow, when do you vacation? It's hard, but they know hard work. What I've gained a reputation And my friend Brad, who works for an agricultural co-op now, and I love this guy. Brad always says, he goes, I remember two things about you. You used to always say as a coach, every time you have an interaction with somebody, you have to ask, are they more or less motivated to meet with you again? The second thing he said is, I always remembered how you would do just about anything to help us. You would go above and beyond the call of duty. What that stems from is I've met with 47 people over the course of, let's say, 15 years. Maybe that's 2 calls a year. But that's what has been part of my tagline, because my mantra is I'm relentlessly helpful and always accessible. So what he remembers 15 years later is I was willing to do that. But it translates into he would do anything to help you. That's not true. I'm not giving you my house. I'm not giving you a wad of cash, but that's what happens. So think about before the sales call, during the sales call, after the sales call. How can you differentiate yourself? Now, below this video, we're actually doing a live, about a 15-minute webinar about teaching some different techniques of how to differentiate yourself. So make sure you sign up. But this is what's going to happen. I think as technology goes up, AI goes up, automation goes up, and it's happening every day with new tools, new integrations. People are going to crave the human contact. One of the things I love, and I just read this somewhere, we have a lot of credit union clients. Even though online banking's been around, 10 plus years, if not more, people are still going into the branches at higher numbers. I do. I go to Summit Credit Union in Wisconsin. I go in because I've gotten to know Joel, the branch manager, John, who's the local president, who's become a good buddy of mine. I enjoy the people interaction. I could do my banking online and save a lot of time and money. That's what's going to happen, especially in the field of sales. As things get automated and things get sequenced through AI, what if we differentiated ourselves versus those who chose not to? Wouldn't we gain an advantage in the marketplace? What are your thoughts?